Thank you for coming. Welcome to our webinar series, Don't Go Broke in a Nursing Home. In this segment, we're going to focus on Medi-Cal, California's version of the state-specific Medicaid program, the basic problem and the solution. In subsequent segments, we'll talk about the three hurdles of Medi-Cal, that being eligibility, how much does Medi-Cal pay, and oh my gosh, it's a loan, it's not a gift. They want their money back. In this segment, we're going to confine ourselves to what Medi-Cal is and does. So let's talk about the basic problem. Now this is the most basic financial problem of all, and that is more's going out than coming in. Because if it were the reverse, no one would care. Everything would be fine. So that's the problem. Now, I think the best way to illustrate what's going on here is to put it into perspective. What Medi-Cal does and how it can be used. I think the best way is to tell you about the uncle of a very, very good friend of mine, his Uncle Frank. We'll talk a lot about him in our webinar series on veterans benefits, which is also available on this website. And as far as I know, he's still alive, living in an assisted living facility in Duluth, Minnesota. So let's take Uncle Frank down the road a few years. His health is declining. He has $102,000 to his name, and he needs a skilled nursing facility at this point. Now here's the problem. He has income of $1,800, but expenses in a skilled nursing facility can really be substantial. So let's assume his are $10,000 a month. That's a deficit of $8,200 per month. His savings are going to be gone in about 1 year. So he needs to find a benefit that's going to pay for all this, and that's Medi-Cal. And interestingly, this is a very common scenario, probably the most common that we see. Now, Medi-Cal is generally limited to skilled nursing facilities, so it doesn't cover, typically, assisted living facilities or in-home care. You do have to remember that Medi-Cal has thousands of different programs. The one in which I'm expert, and the one in which we're talking about, is the long-term care program. Now, we do have to talk for a second about long-term care, which gets us into Medicare. Medicare is the program that almost all people over 65 in this country have as their medical insurance, and it pays for skilled nursing facilities for up to 100 days. Now that means it may be less depending on the circumstances, sometimes not at all. But for our purposes, long-term care is anything beyond what Medicare pays. Medi-Cal is California's version of what most other states call Medicaid. You do need to remember that Medicaid or Medi-Cal is state-specific. No state's rules are the same. Each one is different. Now, in a skilled nursing facility, acute and subacute care can cost $10,000 to $20,000 a month and up. If you have any veterans benefits, that's going to be a drop in the bucket. Medi-Cal pays an unlimited amount monthly. That's what makes it so attractive. It pays an unlimited amount monthly. So what is it that we do? Well, we offer complimentary Medi-Cal eligibility assessments. It's done by phone, so you don't even have to leave your house. Now, we do limit it to those with some type of a California connection, so that means someone is resident here in this state, or there's real estate here, something that connects with California. Well, if certain things are free, then obviously certain things must not be free, and here's where we're going to talk about that. Some of you will need help to become eligible. In other words, you're not eligible as we sit here today, but you can become eligible. We figure from our live workshops that about 15 to 20% of you are not eligible as you sit in front of us today. You're going to need some form of legal or financial work to make it happen. These services are not free, but you will be informed of any fees you need to pay prior to having any obligation, so it's completely above board and transparent. Now here's a little bit about me. I was admitted to the state bar in 1974. I do think that point 2 and 3 are important because it indicates that I'm specialized. I'm not a jack of all trades. I just don't think one can do everything and know everything, and I want people to get top-notch solutions. The only way I believe that can be done is if one specializes in only a few areas. You can see my background. I've been a teacher, an author, a columnist. I'm accredited by the VA. There's my accreditation number if you want to look me up. And I've been involved in helping families not go broke in a nursing home literally for decades. Here's one of my columns that I wrote back in the early 90s about Medi-Cal. It appeared in the Blade Citizen, which at that time was the largest regional newspaper in San Diego County. That paper later morphed into the North County Times, which since has morphed into the San Diego Union Tribune. I wrote for the Blade Citizen and the North County Times for 15 years, one column a week. This is one of them. Irrevocable trust can avoid Medi-Cal claim. So I'm certainly not a Johnny-come-lately to the field. I've been in it at least since the early 90s. If you do want to read more about me, you can find my full resume under the About tab on this website. Now I want to caution you, this field is complex and complicated. It is difficult to do on your own, and those who have tried often make mistakes which can cost the family tens of thousands of dollars in penalty periods during which Medi-Cal will not pay a penny to even the loss of the family home. So this really is a team effort. Who's on the team? Well, we're on the team for you. Who else? The staff at the facility, certainly they want to help you as much as they can. And of course, you, because we cannot do it without you helping you. But together we can make it happen. So please do take us up on our offer for a complimentary Telcon assessment. Our contact information is on the bottom of the slide that you're looking at right now. But of course, if you're not quite ready to get started yet, this website is a great place to start. Start your research on estate planning, estate administration, Medi-Cal, veterans benefits, and many other things. Lots of great information. We look forward to having you back for the subsequent segments on Don't Go Broke in a Nursing Home, in which we will discuss the 3 hurdles of Medi-Cal, eligibility, the look-back period and penalty period. Number 2, how much does Medi-Cal pay? And number 3, oh my gosh, it's a loan, it's not a gift. They want their money back. Thanks so much for listening.